Are you ready to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully? Then let go of whatever no longer serves you to take action now on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. With Erica's E3 approach, equipping, empowering, and enlightening yourself so you can be yourself for yourself. Get ready and get rooted to live a life without regrets, without what ifs, without should haves, and especially without empty feelings from a life unexplored. This hit show helps you build powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go. Get fearlessly ready and powerfully rooted in your yes with your host, Erica Gifford Mills, and be fearless about your more and stand in your yes. Now on Get Rooted Radio.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. A big shout out, as always, to our producer, Jacob. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well today.
Good. Do anything fun and exciting with friends this weekend?
Ooh, I did a little private acoustic concert for one of my friend's birthdays. And of course, with everything going on, it was, remote and COVID safe. But that was a lot of fun. Played music for him.
Awesome. And would you say you have a close circle of friends, a tribe?
Yes, very much so. There's my partner and then two of our best friends. And we've kind of been doing our thing together for the last 2 years, I'd say.
And that is so important, because there's nothing better than authentic and compassionate relationships, whether it's personal, right, a romantic relationship, or more especially friendship, because when you have that, you can do so much. And I've said this on other episodes, find your tribe. To say that we are looking for, our tribe means that we are looking for people who share the commonalities or possess the traits we aspire to adapt. And that is one of the things we're going to discuss with my guest, Roushaun Johnson. And Roushaun is that bright light making changes in her community as an entrepreneur, corporate executive, author, motivational speaker, and health and wellness fitness coach. There is never a dull moment in her life. Roushaun has founded and co-founded several nonprofit community-based organizations dedicated to serving the needs of young girls, women, and their families. She owns and operates a successful online fitness studio called Fit and Fabulous, which I'm going to have to try. And she hosts an online business of health and wellness products. She is an advocate of women in leadership, which, hey, women, we all are, an avid supporter of female achievement, and encourages all women to truly step into their own success. And I'm so happy that you are on the show with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and having me. And hi, Jacob.
So tell me, you certainly have done a lot and really reach out to those in your community. What made you get into this line of work?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, please?
Yes. What made you get into this line of work?
You know what? What's interesting, Eric, I wouldn't necessarily call it a line of work, which it is, but it's more of me just following my passion, my purpose, and my calling. Wow. I mean, I love to talk. So that right there was helpful. I love to speak. I love to help. I love to nurture. And I love to give advice. And definitely working with our youth, helping them at a young age understand who they are and where they can go. And then obviously with our women today, women today, like you mentioned earlier, having that tribe, that is so important. Having that circle of inspiration and empowerment that helps you go to the next level. So I was just following my passions, following my callings.
Right. Because, when your work is your passion, you never truly work a day in your life, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A girlfriend of mine, she said if she could do community service for free, but then also have maybe a side source of income, she would do it for the rest of her life, because what you get from being a community service advocate is so fulfilling, and you just feel so amazing. So any opportunity that I have to help and share and inspire others, I'm all for it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now, you mentioned something about similar to finding your tribe, that empowerment circle. So what is an empowerment circle?
Two parts, and thanks for asking. So I have a web show, and it is entitled the Empowerment Circle Web Show. And I will tell you this, Erica, it has taken on a mind of its own. I started it because I thought about the women in this last year, especially during COVID, where, times are hard, people are struggling, and you needed some uplifting. You needed some support. And I got so much support because I had a lot of new projects that I wanted to start. And I had this circle of friends that were checking in on me. How's it going? And they were also holding me accountable. Did you do this? Did you do that? Do you need help? And I was like, wow, this is something special. So I'll break it down this way. Remember when I don't have any birth children. I have two beautiful God gifts sons, from my marriage. But think about this. When you had your first child, they say that it takes a village, to raise a child. So you had all this help, aunties, uncles, mothers, grandmothers. And then it continued. But as women, do we have that village? Because somewhere along the line, I don't know, people feel that women, like, we're strong, we're powerful, we don't need any help, we got this. But no, we need that empowerment circle as well. We need that village. We need help. We need support. We need someone that would just text you and say, hey, beautiful, how are you doing today? And that is what the empowerment circle is. I tell individuals, we have a family circle. We're born with that. You have a friendship circle. Those are people that you may have been friends with since you were little. They're just stuck with you, part of your life. But do you have that empowerment circle? A circle of individuals that fuel into you. They support you. They uplift you. They empower you. And the key thing is that it's all done unconditionally, and it's a circle that you choose. It's kind of like your private circle, but it's a circle that really is there for you, and they'll keep it real, but it's just a pure, honest circle of friends that are there for you for support and encouragement and inspiration.
It's like that circle of trust, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I that is so important, because it's kind of like when you run with the bad crowd, you can tend to do bad things. When you're in the right crowd and you are all uplifting and inspiring and motivating one another, you go so much farther.
And what's interesting is a few individuals that are in my empowerment circle, they saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
They're like, hey, you should do this. You should do that. And I'm like, what? Really? Me? And they're like, yes, because you're already doing it, but on this smaller scale. And that right there was so empowering and so encouraging. So it's individuals that, they just see the beauty and the dynamics in you. And God has sent these individuals to you. That's the crazy part. God puts people into your empowerment circle.
So why is an empowerment circle so important?
Number one, I would say, honestly, the support. And I'll give you an example, two different examples. Let's just say if someone is at work. Right now with the Empowerment Circle, I'm doing a series on empowerment in the workplace. As women, We take care of the house. If you're married, you take care of your husband, you take care of the kids. You are empowered in your house. You run it. But when we go to that 9 to 5, somehow unconsciously, that feeling of empowerment that you have at home, it diminishes. So why is that? Why is that? Why should that happen? Why should you be on the top of the world at home, but at work, you feel like you're maybe invisible or non-existent? So that's why having an empowerment circle at work is important. Having a group of people that maybe mentor you to help you maneuver through corporate America, maybe just having a buddy at work that just asks, how are you doing today? How was your weekend? Just making you not feel invisible at work. Yes. Having a manager that supports you and encourages you to share your ideas, use your voice. So that is so important. And then in our everyday life, you're raising your kids, you're doing drop-offs at school, then you have to go to work, then you have to cook dinner. And sometimes you're tired, you're stressed, but your empowerment circle is, hey, sister friend, I'm doing the same thing with you. Let's go out and have a girls' day because I understand what you're going through. I'm going through it too. You are a phenomenal wife. You're a phenomenal mother. Don't be disappointed because you had a bad day today. And the last thing I will say, because this is a new year, a new generation for the woman entrepreneur. Starting your own business. Highs, lows, peaks, valleys. So you're going to need someone that's going to help you get through those moments. And that's where an empowerment circle comes into play.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about self-love. But before we go, Roushaun, tell listeners how they can reach you.
Absolutely. You can reach me at Roushaun K. Johnson, and that is my Facebook author and empowerment speaker page. And then you can also reach me on the web, RoushaunJohnson.com. That is where we're featuring our book, The New Female Leader. And then you can learn more about my coaching and empowerment speaking opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You are listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's your turn to reclaim your life. Experience the unmitigated joy of breathing life into your own passions, into your own purpose. With me, life coach Ricky Schwartz at myturnlifecoaching.com. In the meantime, tune into my show, My Turn Life Coaching, live every second and fourth Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Can't get enough of I Have Soul Radio? Join Psychic Medium Jamie every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Take a deeper look at the raw side of spirit. Nothing is off limits. Connect with lost loved ones and explore these vulnerable subjects with the compassionate guidance of Psychic Medium Jamie. You are not alone. I Have Soul, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, only on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Stuck in a roundabout of dysfunction? Learn how to speak your truth to power with host Dr. Kathy Obear. Create real change with smart tools and smart strategies. No frills, no fluff, just life-changing conversations to help get you where you want to be. Extend your reach and become an agent for real change with Kathy Obear. For more information on Kathy and her work, please visit drkathyobear.com. That's drkathyobear.com.
You've been listening, but are you watching? Tune in to your favorite shows on the Transformation Talk Radio Facebook page. We stream live video podcasts every day, and we love to hear from you. Leave comments and questions for the host to address live, on the air, and get to know the faces behind the voices you love. Just go to Facebook and search for Transformation Talk Radio.
Yeah, yippee skippy to that, baby. Are you ready to find out who you really are? Are you ready to have fun and listen to the soul part of yourself? Indulge in a deeper meaning with Laura Goldstein, host of Coffee with the Universe. This show will awaken that true self hidden deep within you and will get you energized on who you were created to be. So go ahead, grab your cup of joe and experience Coffee with the Universe with Laura Goldstein on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any portion of today's episode, you can catch it at GetRootedRadio.com. That's GetRootedRadio.com. Don't forget to subscribe online to receive the latest news, events, specials, and words of encouragement. Go to GetRootedRadio.com. I'd like to welcome back Roushaun Johnson. Thanks again for joining me today, Roushaun.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So my last episode, which is available on podcast form, was about self-love. And at its core, we need to have self-love and show ourselves love and care before we can give it and receive it fully. Roushaun and I are co-authors in the book, The New Female Leader, a woman's book for dynamic leadership skills. And in your chapter, Roushaun, you mentioned something about the word fly and self-love. Share more of this with listeners.
Fly. When you think about fly, just close your eyes. And when you think about that word fly, you think about the sky. You may think about a beautiful bird, a sparrow, the clouds. You just think about something up close and they're flying. But in this context, I broke it down and it stands for first, love yourself. And this goes back to what you said, that self-love. It's so important. And you said it perfectly. You said, once you love yourself, you take care of yourself first, then you're more available, to help others. And this is something else that I would like to say. And this is very important. Women, jot this down and just keep this in your mindset. Just think about this when you're meditating and you're thinking about, self-love. Self-love is not being selfish. You're not. I know it may sound bad when you're like, I want to go get my nails done. I want to have a girls' day. I want to go to the spa. But, who's going to watch the kids? I want to take a long bubble bath and just meditate, but I got to make sure that dinner's ready. Don't put that pressure on yourself and think that taking those 5 minutes or 20 minutes out for yourself to detox, to refuel, to regenerate is bad. It's so important and so vital for you mentally and physically.
It is. Honestly, I could not agree with you more, because when we can really love ourselves, when we can understand the things that make us tick, and we can take time for self-care, everything else can fall into place, right? And we teach others how to treat us. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're doing self-doubt, limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, all those things that we know that we shouldn't do, but we do them, it shows others how we think we should be treated. And that's when we get that negative relationships or the toxic relationships. But it's also, for me personally, also very important, you show your kids how they deserve to be treated, right? If mom doesn't take time for herself, well, then maybe I shouldn't take time for myself, or maybe mom doesn't need the time, right? And then it leads to patterns, and we don't want that, right? We want to be able to, as you say, fly. First, love yourself. And I love that acronym, right? I love how that works. And I think when women do that more, right? Not only at home, but at work, take the time, take your lunch breaks, right? Don't eat at your desk, walk away, rejuvenate so that you can come back with a clear head, so that you have a clear mind to get those meetings done, to get that work done. Leave on time when you need to go, if you have an appointment or you have a kids concert or whatever that is. You need to set those boundaries. And that's one of the things that self-love helps you to do, is set those appropriate boundaries.
You feel so much better. I mean, you honestly feel so much better. You don't walk around with regret. You don't walk around with frustration and being mad, at people. You are able to perform, at your peak. And then one point on what you said about parents and how our children, they feed off the energy we give them and they model what we do. Mm-hmm. Another thing I talked about in the chapter, and my focus on that fly, was directed, to my mother and my grandmother, because they were my biggest, and they still are, my biggest cheerleaders as a child. They always told me I was beautiful. I can do magnificent things. We're so proud of you. They just instilled that into me, that fly, you're beautiful, fly. And we love you. We want you to love yourself, and we want you to possess that. So yeah, when you grow up, you set expectations of how you expect to be treated.
Yes. And I know too many people, men and women, who don't know just how special they are. They're either busy focusing on the negative, or they're surrounded by so many negative people that they don't even know there was anything in life to be positive about. So it goes back to your empowerment circle, right? Finding your tribe, finding those people who are going to lift you up when you need it, where you can lift them up when they need it. Be each other's supporters. And I think that is sometimes what we're missing, right? It's so easy, especially over the past year, to be negative, right? To be, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. But are we looking at what can we do? I have now more time to read more books. I have more time to focus my attention on things that maybe we're lacking, right? And it's when we start looking at what we truly need, which I think over this past year, I think a lot of us have learned, what can I do without? What do I really need? Where can I find my peace? And when we take that time, you do move forward. You do find that love. You do find that peace. You do find your true supporters. And I think that's just so incredible that people have been able to do that.
One of my supervisors, she told me, well, she actually told our whole, group, she said that this quarter, our theme is slow down so you can speed up. And it goes back to what you said, cutting out all that static, cutting out all these things that are stacked on your plate, eliminating things that are not as important, and focus on yourself. Focus on what is important. So then you can speed up and excel.
And I love that, because I think, years and years back, it was, one of those interview questions that people had was, can you multitask? And I think now the focus is off that multitasking. It goes to that comment you just had on slow down so you can speed up, right? And if you can just stop trying to do so many things at once and really focus your time and energy. There are times, absolutely, we have to multitask. I don't know how many times, if I'm driving from one place to another, I have my hands free, so I'm not driving.
Not on the cell phone.
But you got my hands free, not looking at my phone, but you are multitasking, right? You're taking time. Or you're getting, maybe I love to do Audible or, books on tape, which, who has a tape deck in their car anymore, but It's those sort of things, right? And it is, if you slow down, and I love that, slow down to speed up. I think it is. It's a form of self-love. It's a form of getting through to your next level. And I think, self-love and self-care aren't things that can be found or created overnight. You can't just do it once and then forget about it. It's like any relationship, and building that relationship with yourself is so important. And that is a way to build yourself up. It needs to be nurtured and cultivated. And if it can be done, it can make the biggest impact on your life.
I mean, think about depression rates, anxiety, how high it is in women, and it shouldn't be, it can change. Yeah. And then here's another message that I would just leave. I want women to literally, I mean, it's a cliche. We say it now, a hashtag, women empowering women, women supporting women, but let's do this.
Yes.
Let's do this intentionally. Don't live a hashtag. Don't put this on a post. I challenge women to do this intentionally and with a pure heart. Empower another woman. Don't compete. Collaborate. And on my empowerment show, I had interviewed a colleague of mine, and she said this phrase, and I'm going to repeat it. It may be a little deep, but I was like, wow. But she said there is a place in hell for women that don't support women. And I was like, woo. But when you think about that, like, why don't women support women? We're on the same playing field. We're women. So support another woman.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. And I've said that so many times, which it just means we are on the same wavelength here. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss traits of a female leader. Tell folks how they can reach you again.
They can reach me at Roushaun K. Johnson, and that is on Facebook. I am also on Instagram at Roushaun Johnson, LinkedIn as well as Roushaun Johnson, and I'm on my website. My website page is RoushaunJohnson.com.
Awesome, thanks. So I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tune in to The Crooked Climb with Suzanne Taylor King and Denise Stiegel, committed to guiding your journey through the world through mindfulness and personal care. These ladies are rebellious, real, funny, and powerful, helping you realize your full potential while navigating the twists and turns life always brings us. Tune in live every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Pat. Hey, are you loving Shades of Spirit Radio? Well, mark your calendars. Shades of Spirit goes live in a new time spot every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time on TransformationTalkRadio.com. What? Yeah, you heard that right. Psychic Medium Jamie and Spirit Walker Nicole, 5 p.m. every Wednesday. Live readings, giveaways, oracle cards, and lots of fun. So be there. Call into the show at 1-800-930-2819 and visit shadesofspirit.com.
When was the last time you had that feeling that you knew something, but you couldn't explain how you knew it? How powerful would it be for your life and business if you could consciously tap into that magic within you? What if you could remember that there's something supernatural about you? Tune in to Absolute Alignment with Christelle Biga when success feels easy. Every first and third Friday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
I'm a big fan of yours and of y'all's wisdom has been very valuable to me. I've been curious, kind of stuck and not sure which direction to go, and having the motivation to do that as well. So thank you very much. It's a beautiful message. Thank you very much.
It is a beautiful message.
It's very comforting and a great reminder.
Tune into 3 Things I've Learned with Susan Dolce every first and third Tuesday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Join Susan and her guests as they share the stories that shift our souls about radical transformations, courageous breakthroughs, and life lessons. 3 Things I've Learned with Susan Dolce. For more information, go to transformationtalkradio.com or visit Susan's website at susandolce.com.
Get empowered. Transformation Talk Radio.
We're back on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Don't forget to visit getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay of this episode, sign up for helpful tips, and learn about upcoming events. That's getrootedradio.com. We'd like to welcome back our guest, Roushaun Johnson. Welcome back, Roushaun.
Hello, thank you.
So while we were on break, we had a question come in from a listener, and they asked, what is your motivation? What keeps you going on your journey, mission to empower the world? Heavy question, but it's all yours.
Heavy question, easy answer. I don't know if the audience is ready for it, but I will give it. But it's a special answer. And long story short, my grandmother, who's no longer with me, she left me about 2 years ago at the age of 86. And she taught me and left me with so much. And also my mother is still here with me. But these 2 women, they instilled in me the importance of giving, the importance of being humble, the importance of being grateful, the importance of sharing, and also the importance of just being bold, being brave. And like I mentioned earlier, that fly. And so I do what I do today because of them.
And I think,
but I'm like, I am the woman I am today because of them. And also, Erica, last thing is that I'm establishing my legacy. I feel that I owe my grandmother this because she empowered me to be dynamic. And I'm not going to let her down. I'm not going to put all her love and encouragement and support and time and years into me and let her down. And then I'm going to take care of my mom and my little sister. And then not last thing I want to say, I'm getting excited because I'm talking to my family, my passion. But I'm born and raised in Compton, California. My mom had me when she was 17 years old. She didn't even know she was pregnant. My grandmother had to tell her she was pregnant. There were no men around, except for my uncles, bless their heart, but they were young as well. But we struggled. I collected cans with my grandmother when I was like 12 years old. I want to go outside and play. My granny had me collecting cans. But these women, they did so much for me. So I want to pass on that strength to our new generation, women that I know, and tell them that you are bold, you are brave, you are beautiful, and you can do what you put your mind to if you put in the work. And I want to empower them. I just want to keep telling them, go, 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 go.
And I think that is, when we can give back to the community that we were born and raised in, or the community that we currently live in, that it's so rejuvenating for me anyways, right? I feel like I get more inspired. I get more motivated when you can do that. And to show the people who gave us that start, this is how much I respect you. This is how much I love you, that I want to continue to do that. And I agree. Family, I mean, my parents, neither are with, are here anymore, but I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. And I wonder every day, like, are they proud? I mean, and I know they were, but I'm like, am I doing right by their name? Am I continuing to show what they showed when I was growing up, and I think when we can do that, and then of course for my son, I am maybe do a lot with women, but it's also for him to show this is how you want to treat somebody. This is how you want to empower. So once you're in a relationship, once you are supporting your daughter maybe and your wife and your aunts, your cousins, all and just the women in your life, this is how you do it. And I think that is what keeps so much of us going. That is what our motivation is. And that's what keeps us on our journey to truly empower the world. I think that was a great question.
Yeah. And I think about just the future, the future of the world. And that can be another hashtag, a cliche term that's used so often, children are the future, but they are. I mean, they literally are the future. So what are we doing as adults to help cultivate and create our future leaders? And I feel it's our responsibility. It is our responsibility as adults to cultivate and nurture and educate and empower the future generation. We have to. Yeah. We have to.
And that gets us to a good point, because Roushaun and I are co-authors in the book, The New Female Leader, a woman's book for dynamic leadership skills. And in your chapter, you discuss traits of a female leader. Actually, the title of your chapter is 10 Traits of a Successful Leader. So what are some traits?
Oh my God. Okay, where do I start? Definitely, we talked about fly, that first loving yourself. That's very important. I also talk about being a servant, because I believe if you are put in a role of leadership, which is a role of responsibility, someone put you in that position because you're good at what you do. So that means that you need to be a servant. And that's another trait. Be a servant to those that are following you, because now it's not about you, it's about someone else. Another one of my favorite traits, my husband actually offered this one. He said that a good leader is someone that is transparent. People will follow you if they know who you are. They see your authentic self. They see your pure, self. Be transparent. And on that line, another one is vulnerable. You're strong, you're bold, you're the leader, but you're not a leader by authority or by the title, so let that down. Be vulnerable, open up, show your heart, have a heart. And then
not to interrupt you, but I love that one, because when you show you can fail and be vulnerable, people will like, oh, she's human. Oh, this is normal. Yeah.
And then admit it. I read something a long time ago. They said in an email, you should never say like, I'm sorry or I'm wrong. You should use the word, I apologize, or I meant to say. But what's wrong with saying I'm sorry or I'm wrong? Is that so horrible? I would respect that when a person says, you know what, now that I think about it, I would have done that a little differently. I was wrong. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Yes.
And then if I can, just one that I really, really love, and it's the last one, and that's being convictious. Being courageous, like standing in your truth, meaning standing for what you believe in, being bold. And I talk about Miss Universe 2019, Zozubini Tenzui, and she said that when she was going through, the process, They told her that, she was too toned, too muscular. They wanted her to, put on a wig because, she had her short Afro style haircut. And she said, no, I'm me. I'm standing in my convictions and I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be brave. And this is me. Yes, I have muscles. Yes, I have a short haircut. And this is me. So be a leader and be courageous. Just stand strong in what you believe in. Bring your authentic self to the table every day.
And I was going to say that it's that authenticity when people see that and they know, okay, she's not faking it. This is her real self. And people respect that. And, some people can, some people can't, but many of us, we can tell when someone's putting on a show. And it's so important just to be yourself, be true to you.
And Erica, that's one of the chapters, don't fall into that imposter syndrome.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about pie. That's right, folks. I said pie. You're going to have to come back and listen to see what we're talking about. Roushaun, tell folks how they can reach you again.
They can reach me at Roushaun K. Johnson on Facebook and Roushaun Johnson on both LinkedIn and Instagram. And also on my website, that is RoushaunJohnson.com.
All right, so stay tuned, folks. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. We'll be right back.
The Dr. Pat Show.
The Dr. Pat Show.
The Dr. Pat Show.
This is it. The energy of heart to heart, mind to mind, love to love. These are the questions that people have and rarely state. When we have an internal transformation and we see things differently, what does it mean to step into the full nature of being a spiritual being? How am I to be? This is it. Every day, you have to do something outrageously positive. It is so absolutely relevant because what I've seen in humanity, despite what's in the headlines, I'm so struck by the heroes that have come forward. I'm just absolutely in awe. The idea generators and superheroes. All of you, you are the best listening audience in the world, and we are bringing it in 2021.
Are you ready to put down that drink or drug for good? Are you struggling to maintain your recovery from addictive behaviors? Do you need help with a family member or loved one who's in early recovery or battling addiction? Get the help and guidance you need by arranging a Recovery Recharged phone session with me, Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx, certified life and recovery coach. Call 1-800-889-1757. Make an appointment today or go to my website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and click on the link that says Recovery Recharged. Don't wait. Get the help you need today. This is Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Juggling life's relentless demands can leave us unbalanced and restless. Do you feel stuck in the overwhelm? Diane McClay is a personal empowerment coach, author, and compassionate storyteller on a mission to boost you into balance and help you move forward with passion and purpose. Get unstuck with Diane on The Diane McClay Show every second and fourth Friday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information about Diane, visit DianeMcClay.com.
Did you know that when we talk about the Earth's ecosystems, the most important ecosystem has been left out? We created the ecosystem approach to recapture human potential.
Find us at theecosystemapproach.org.
Join us every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any of the information during the last segments, go to getrootedradio.com. That's getrootedradio.com to listen to the replay. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for tips and special events, and pricing for upcoming coaching sessions at getrootedradio.com. I'd like to welcome back Roushaun. Tell listeners how they can reach you, Roushaun.
Yes, you can reach me at Roushaun K. Johnson, and that is on Facebook. That is my author and empowerment speaker page. You can also reach me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Roushaun Johnson. And then obviously you can go to my website where you can hear more about the book, learn more about all the chapters inside our book, and then also see the different opportunities I have for speaking engagements. And there are some free ebook downloads, but yes, that would be at RoushaunJohnson.com.
Awesome. So when we went to break before this last segment, I said we're going to talk about pie. Well, it is time to eat a slice of that pie, and that's P-I-E. What does that mean?
I love it. Everybody get out your forks and knife. Let's eat some pie. First and foremost, pie is a formula for success.
So we're not talking about the 3.141, that pie.
No. We're not getting technical here. And unfortunately, we're not talking about a physical pie either. I know that was a little trick that I threw in there. Everybody was ready for my recipe.
Well, you do have a recipe, so share this recipe.
Absolutely. And this right here is for our women right now that are in business, women that are working in corporate America, are just working in a corporate job. You know, it doesn't matter what level that you are. You can be entry level, you can be mid-level, you can be upper management level. But I want you to think about this formula. A dear friend of mine shared this with me, and she basically said, which is so important, your current performance, that lays the foundation for your growth. So think about this. Close your eyes and think about your current performance in your workplace. And the P, that is your performance. That is your entry ticket. Why you are there in the first place. What did you do in the past? And that is 10% of the pie. And then you have the I, which is your image. What message are you giving? So you're already in the room, but what message are you giving? How is your entire, what demeanor are you putting off? Are you being confident? And this is something that you can obviously learn and grow and develop with mentors. But your image, that's 30%. But the biggest part, if you guys are doing the math with me, we're at 60% of the pie. And this is your exposure. So remember, I said we're talking about your growth within inside your organization, how you excel from where you are to where you want to be. So think about this. What is your exposure? Do people know you? Do they know what your performance level is? Are you visible? Do they even know your name? How many different circles or networking groups within inside your current organization are you involved in? Think about that. And I had to get a reality check because I did hit a, career plateau. And I said, you know what? My 60% is not at its peak. So that's the pie. So for those of you that are looking to go, I use the term from good to great. You want to continue to excel and progress within your current organization. 10% is your performance, 30% is your image, but that 60%, women, that 60% is your exposure. Who knows you? Who knows what you can do?
Yeah, and I think that is very important. Are you working on those cross-functional teams, right? Are you getting yourself out there? Are you volunteering for projects? Are you where you can be seen, not just in your department, but across departments? You know, and I think many times people forget that. And that's even for entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Where are you part of a networking group? Are you working with are you collaborating so that you can get out there and get the exposure that you need? And I think people forget that, because you can be awesome. You can be so good at what you do, but if nobody knows you, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman that ran for president, she says, don't wait for a seat at the table. Bring your own folding chair.
Yes. And I love that. It's true, is that sometimes you can't wait to be asked. You have to invite yourself, right? You have to say, hey, is there another position on that committee? Or I'd like to join that committee. Is there another one? If that room's full, is there a different one that you can join? It's scary at times. And I think if it doesn't scare you, if it doesn't get that little bit of butterfly, I think that's where people aren't sure what to do next, right? But it needs to be challenging, because once you get that challenge, once you start growing, that's where the magic happens, right? It's you start expanding yourself, you start expanding your reach, and people will start seeing you and really learning on what you have to offer.
Yeah, it's we have to stand up. We have to use our voice. So important. I'm just reflecting on a lot of beautiful things that have taken place this year with women, and especially with African-American women. Obviously, we have our new Madam Vice President, Kamala Harris. And then we have 3 African-American women that are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies: Walgreens, Rosalind Brewer, Bed Bath & Beyond, Mary Winston, and TIAA, Tashonda Brown Duckett. I mean, this is empowerment on so many levels. In March, we know this is Women History Month. This is, I won't necessarily say this is our season, but there's so many role models out there. And there's so many women that are taking lead positions and lead seats in positions in corporate America that was majority male dominated. So women, hey, collaborate, don't compete, and use our voices.
Yeah, I think so. To really wrap it all up, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. It has been such a great pleasure. But I think the things that we can take away from not only your chapter, but our discussion today is find your circle, get that empowerment circle, lift each other's up. As you said, collaborate, don't compete, fly, first love yourself and eat that pie, right? Get out there and get your name known. And I know you are going to continue to do wonderful, wonderful things in your community. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Erica. It was my absolute pleasure.
Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Get Rooted Radio. If you missed any of today's episode or you want to listen again, go to getrootedradio.com for the podcast. And don't forget to tune in the first and third Mondays of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. Before I sign off, remember to ask yourself, am I living a rooted life? If the answer is no, take time to think about what you need to do, then take action to make that answer a yes. One way to take action is to set up your free Empower Hour call with me. No charge, no obligations. Go to getrootedradio.com to find out how I can help you take action. Thank you again for tuning in. Have an amazing day. And I'm looking forward to the next time on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Visit GetRootedRadio.com if you've missed any part of this hit show, and tune in on TransformationTalkRadio.com to live fearlessly in your more and powerfully rooted in your unlimited yes. For more information and to work with Erica directly, visit GetRootedRadio.com. That's GetRootedRadio.com, and get ready to live it up, love it up, and let it go.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.